I get Corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying. We've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while. About 2 months we've had this trip planned. 2-3 months. So we're just out here having a good time. Whatever happens, happens.
Like, it's really messing up with my spring break. What is there to do here other than go to the bars or the beach, and they're closing all of it? It's really messing up. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion. I think it's doing way too much.
Doing us bad. We need a refund. This virus ain't that serious. It's serious. It's more serious things out there like hunger and poverty, and we need to address that.
Welcome to Ohio Survival News. This is Casey O'Brien. Today is March 19th, Thursday, 2020. The time is 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I'm wearing sunglasses for this broadcast so you can read along with my notes. We're going to lead off with the confirmed cases in Ohio. These numbers were updated by the Ohio Department of Health at 2 p.m. today. Ohio currently sits at 119 confirmed cases in 24 counties. Ashland has 1, Belmont 2, Butler 8. Clark County, we're on the board now. We got 1. That was breaking news during last night's broadcast. Coshocton 2, Cuyahoga 53, Dark 1, Delaware 2, Franklin 10, Geauga 1, Hamilton 1, Huron 1, Lake 2, Lorain 6, Lucas 1, Mahoning, I feel bad when I can't pronounce Ohio names. They have 5, so they weren't on here yesterday, now they have 5. Medina 5, Miami 1, Montgomery 1, Richland 1, Stark 5, Summit 6, Trumbull 2, and Tuscarawas 1. Of note with the Franklin cases, there is a confirmed case of a 2-year-old as well as a Columbus firefighter. Top news today, automobile manufacturer Honda, a key employer here in Ohio and also Indiana, has announced that beginning Monday, March 23rd, they will be closing their facilities across the United States. They will be reopening them on March 31st, and they have cited health concerns of the Chinese coronavirus as well as the economy's collapse and subsequent lack of demand for new vehicles. Honda stated that they will continue to pay their 27,600 American employees, but taking the biggest hit will be temps, or employees contracted to Honda by staffing companies, as well as other supply companies that rely heavily on Honda as a client. Honda expects to take 40,000 vehicles out of production during this downtime, and they did leave the door open to future cuts, stating, quote, Honda will continue to evaluate conditions and make additional adjustments as necessary. This week, the local news here in Springfield, Ohio, has been reporting that John Legend, a Springfield, Ohio native, performed a live free concert on Instagram. This should not be news, and if there was one good thing I thought may come out of the Chinese coronavirus, it was that I may never have to have this doofus shoved down my throat again. In real news, Kroger has announced that effective immediately they are closing all, quote, personal service areas of their stores. This includes salad bars and meat and seafood counters. It is unclear if this change includes their bakery. This change comes after all Ohio Kroger locations have shortened their hours to 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Kroger spokeswoman Aaron Rolfs said that the changes are, quote, not due to concerns about spreading disease. It was all just to reallocate resources to make sure the shelves are stocked. I'm going to say she's probably right on that. They do want to reallocate resources, but I think she's also lying. I think it is also about not spreading disease. I have no desire to go to any buffet or a salad bar during this corona apocalypse. Lunch meat, seafood, and steak will now be pre-sliced overnight and placed in coolers for customers to grab. Rolfs made it a point to mention that shoppers should see more stock of, quote, essentials like bottled water and paper towels. Rolfs deflected on the issue of toilet paper, however, stating that Kroger is stocking it as soon as they are receiving shipments. Springfield News Sun reports that the following items will be limited to only 3 per customer. Those items are water, vitamins, or if you're British, vitamins, cold and flu medicine, paper towels, toilet paper, hand soap, household cleaning supplies, eggs, and milk. Eggs and milk we did confirm to be limited to only 2 items per customer as of yesterday, so their inclusion on this list may be an error. Kroger did announce that they are looking to hire 10,000 employees. Ohio Survival News cautions all viewers who are shopping. The Chinese coronavirus has been confirmed to survive on surfaces for as long as 9 days. Also, when I was filming stores yesterday, I came across a pharmacy employee on break who I knew. He stated rather matter-of-factly that since his girlfriend was worried of him getting sick, that he declined to tell her that he developed and these are his words, a dry cough. The very first line of fighters of this Chinese coronavirus are retail workers. And they are sacrificing their health every day for low pay and poor hours. I know it's not customary to tip grocery workers and clerks, but I have the last few times I've shopped, as they are going through absolute hell right now. Know, though, that many of them will end up as carriers by the time a stay-at-home quarantine is issued. Might want to, bag your own items. Governor DeWine ordered the closure of all but 5 BMV locations. If you're from out of state, our BMV is the DMV. All but 5 BMV locations in the state at the end of the day yesterday, March 18th. The 5 BMV locations that are still open are only offering services for the renewal of CDLs and the issuance of CDLs. No other services will be provided. Local jails have followed the advice of Dr. Amy Acton and closed visitation to inmates indefinitely. Dr. Acton recommended that all jails, penitentiaries, halfway houses, and detention facilities restrict visitor access during the pandemic. Similar measures were taken in Italy, and that saw inmates in several prisons riot, take over the prisons throughout the country. They gained control of the facilities and really just run amok wherever these prisons were at. There are videos, if you search them, you'll find videos of the Italian military actually getting called in, going into these Italian cities where these prisons were at with tanks and armored personnel carriers, but tanks too. So let's see if Ohio inmates are a little bit more sophisticated than the Italian ones. The Clark County Emergency Management Agency is asking the public for donations of personal protective equipment, including latex or nitrile gloves, N95 respirators, surgical masks, and gowns. I did also see where the Franklin County Emergency Management Agency was also asking for personal protective equipment. Residents who will donate to Clark County Emergency Management Agency are asked to contact S. Littler, that's SLITTLER, at clarkcountyohio.gov. The fact that Clark County Emergency Management Agency is having to petition residents for supplies they should have already had is indicative of a large-scale shortage in personal protection equipment at all levels of government. And like I said, this is also in Franklin County. Our capital is Columbus, that's in Franklin County. The fact that and that's a huge city. The fact that the Emergency Management Agency for Franklin County, short stock too. I want to know what the fuck's going on. Not good. Here at Ohio Survival News, we do predict that there will come a time when personal protective equipment found in civilian possession by state authorities will eventually be commandeered, as many state and local level declarations of emergency seemingly grant government agents this power. I don't know what the ages are of the people watching this, but I remember Hurricane Katrina very well, and after that happened, you had the government just taking anything they wanted from civilians, including their firearms. So I do see that coming. If you're hoarding personal protective equipment, maybe hoping to mark it up and sell a bunch of it, well, as soon as the government finds out you have it, it's going to be gone. The state of Ohio is reporting that unemployment claims for the last week are at 5,430. This week, unemployment claims rose by 2,579%. I'm going to read that again. This week, unemployment claims rose by 2,579%. And that's just counting Monday and Tuesday. They did receive 29,177 claims by Tuesday. Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services has extended the hours of their call center to keep up with the influx of applicants. And despite now being open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., The department asked callers to have patience as they are being inundated with calls. I don't expect the corona apocalypse to be over for nearly 2 years, but when it is, I hope that as a country we are able to transition away from a service-centered economy and back to an industrial-centered economy, especially as we work to maintain domestic production of key industries which ensure our national security, including medicine, medical equipment, telecommunications, steel, and more. In Mercer County, Mercer Health has announced that they are suspending their, quote, drive-through testing after only 1 day, citing directives from Governor DeWine. Mercer Health's website states, quote, COVID-19 testing is to now be preserved for hospitalized patients and symptomatic hospital workers. We are waiting to see if other providers offering the drive-through testing are going to be following suit. As soon as I get information on other locations, I'll let you know. In Columbus, a child care employee at Nationwide Children's Hospital has tested positive for the Chinese coronavirus, prompting the sudden closure of the hospital's child care center. I don't really know if it's a children's hospital. Why does it have a child care center? Wouldn't that be the entire hospital? This is fucking Orwellian doublespeak. In sports news, the Cincinnati Reds have publicly announced that an employee of theirs has tested positive for the Chinese coronavirus. The Reds conduct their spring training in Goodyear, Arizona, and the employee in question works in Arizona. Anyone who was in their Arizona facilities from February 29th to March 14th are being asked to self-quarantine. And in another side note of sports news, I bet you that the Houston Astros are really loving this corona apocalypse shit. Meals on Wheels on steroids, or maybe George W. Bush edition. Governor Mike DeWine signed a proclamation that's going to grant approximately 300 Ohio National Guard soldiers to deploy across the state, and it will be in Clark County. The places that they will be deploying are Allen, Butler, Clark, Cuyahoga, Franklin, Hamilton, Hocking, Lorain, Lucas, Mahoning, Montgomery, and Summit counties. If you were thinking about stealing from the fucking food pantry, you better think about something else, because they're going to be going to these food pantries. That's what Governor DeWine said. Maybe we can get John Legend to do a USO performance for him. That'd be nice. The action I've taken to activate the Ohio National Guard will provide support to our food pantries that are low on staff and need help getting food to some of our most vulnerable citizens, said Governor DeWine. By looking out for our neighbors and following proper health safety guidelines, we will make it through this together. So, yeah, you're going to have fucking DoorDash with soldiers now. Don't you love the future? Governor DeWine did hold a press conference today at 2:30 p.m. And there is a possible death from the coronavirus. This would be the first in the state, and that is up near Toledo. Not really a big fan of Toledo, so I don't know. It might be funner to die than live in Toledo. I don't know. The range of dates for the onset of the Chinese coronavirus here in Ohio ranges from February 7th to March 18th. That is over a month of people just going around coughing on door handles, licking toilet seats, all that shit. Of the 119 people who have been tested positive, 43 are females and 76 are males. You always hear about the gender pay gap, but you never hear about the death pay gap. And this virus is sexist. The age range of cases is 2 years old, like I said, that confirmed case in Franklin County, to 91 years old. DeWine asked Ohioans to fly the American flag outside their homes as a sign of unity. And I just realized the only flag I have is my Obama rebel flag. Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor said courts must be open to address emergency and time-sensitive matters. There has been a statewide moratorium in regards to electric and gas disconnects until May 1st. So get that free electric and gas while you can. Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley is asking people to donate blood for the vampires. The UD Arena drive-through testing facility has administered 176 coronavirus tests today on Thursday. Law enforcement has been asked to not issue tickets for expired licenses if people say they can no longer get a renewal. Hair salons, barbershops, spas, and tattoo parlors have been ordered to close, so now you have an official excuse to look like a jackass. Probably most interesting, businesses are asked, beginning immediately, to take the temperature of every employee daily before they come into the workplace. So I guess if you want to get out of work, fucking put a hot pack on your head or some shit. And then you get to go to quarantine at the fucking motel. Thank you for watching Thursday's edition, March 19th, 2020, of Ohio Survival News. I did present it differently. It's not going to be me being really serious on every single one of these. Sometimes I will be. It kind of just depends on my fucking mood. And if you don't like cussing, wait till you hear about this coronavirus that's going around.
Mr. President, there's reporting that the federal government has a plan that shows that this coronavirus outbreak might last as long as 18 months. Are you seeing those numbers? Could it
No,
just
we're not
actually
seeing
last?
that at all.
And then my second question is, there are at least one White House official who used the term Kung Flu, referring to the fact that this virus started in China. Is that acceptable? Is it wrong? Are you worried that having this virus be talked about as a Chinese virus, that might
I wonder who said that. You know who said that?
I'm not sure the person's name, but would you condemn the fact
say
that
the term again?
A person at the White House used the term Kung Flu. My question is, do you think that that's wrong, Kung Flu? And do you think using the term Chinese virus, that puts Asian Americans at risk, that people might target them?
No, not at all. I think they probably would agree with it 100%. It comes from China. There's nothing not to agree. Okay, how about last question?